College at Coach and Captain.
Coach, you would have obviously been hoping to win the game, but could you imagine it would be that kind of score?
I very clearly remember 42-0 halftime last year. Obviously, we spoke a little bit about it yesterday. They were just way too good for us last year. Taught us a tempo lesson and taught us a quick ball lesson. Taught us a pressure lesson. So we probably had an additional weekend to prep, which helped us in terms of pictures. And like I told the media downstairs, really extremely proud of the hard work and the effort the guys put in 80 minutes.
Congratulations.
Coach, just again, it just seemed like quite a disciplined approach attack and defensively. Just what are your thoughts on just how the guy went on today?
I think it's 13 options. Their two main attacking lineouts have got 13 options in your 22. If you're going to give them entries there, it's impossible to defend all that picture. So obviously it was a big draft and a focus point from our side to try not to give them penalties because once they get into your 22, they're almost impossible to stop. So again, I think a good disciplined performance from us, preventing them from getting into our 22. Good defensive effort.
And just guys like Eric and Kieran in the back, defensively giving different pictures. How immense was their effort today in just making sure that defensively there's a bit of a structure?
If you, the moment you switch off, they're going to expose you. They're exceptionally good attacking team, going to space. They're always in motion. There's always options. So again, I think our width on defence was a lot better, and that allowed us to do our job, and that allowed Kieran and Erich and the guys that again worked exceptionally hard to do their job. So my takeaway from everything is just a really proud defensive effort.
Opening 20 minutes when Africans built up a 19-point lead, but just how you're able to control the breakdown, which was able to play the quick movement and being shake by taking opportunities. How good was that first half?
Yeah, again, at Glasgow, I think they're the quickest team in terms of the first 20 minutes in points scored. If you're going to fall half asleep against them, you're probably going to be 20-30 points down. So big focus point for us to have a good start. And well done to Frank and Chris and Krappie and all the drivers with a couple of variations and a couple of changes in pictures. I think their play calling was exceptional.
And in terms of the breakdown, everyone was achieving stopping them. I mean, how important was it as a focus in just the quick
Well, like I said, that 42-0 last year, I don't think we slowed down one breakdown, and then they can do whatever they want to with time and space. So wasn't necessarily a massive ploy of us to target every breakdown, but I think we are moving forward in terms of adding certain pictures and having the discipline to either react on it and go to it or sit in the defensive line.
The stakes are high leading into this taking care of business this week to the extent how important is it again to just focus on realizing do what you have to do and just
I think we're playing this before today. We're playing the last three champions and Connacht, who's at 9. Probably the informed team in the competition. I think it's 6 or 7 in a row now. Just beating the Stormers. So we knew it's really a tough 4 fixtures left. We haven't, obviously, with the team, we haven't looked at next week. We previewed Connacht as coaches, and again, very tough challenge. Physically good team, play with tempo. So yeah, the bodies must rest now, and then Monday morning we'll take Connacht.
Frankie, as players, you're getting closer to that also playoff sport. Is it something that's retained with the players?
Like I said this week in the media, we know where we want to be, but if you look too far ahead, you can lose focus on the game at hand. And I think today well, I know this week everything went into Glasgow, and I know next week everything will go into Connacht. And that's how we're going to approach every single week. Look at the opposition, make sure we know what they bring, and then try and put our structure onto them.
Sorry, Coach. I'd just like to know, I think the tries were, except that for the big score, the tries were very exciting. It was good tries, and that obviously plays a very important role into the brand that the Lions have always played. But secondly, it's also a big factor for bringing crowds back to the stadium. So just something, not only on the score, but the tries that the score today, and just the atmosphere that creates and the brand it creates for you.
I think there was some exciting tries, some breakaway tries, some one-on-one magic skill tries, some offload tries, some good skill set, good pressure tries. That's the end result of hard work in the beginning. So again, we're proud of the hard work. Hopefully that brings people. I mean, we want to play a kind of style that is energetic. We want to play a kind of style that will bring people, make Joburg proud of effort. If some games you're going to score 4 more tries, and some games like today, you score 1 or 2 belters.
Just, I think this season, I'm not sure how many times you've been subbed. How did it feel going?
No, I mean, Coach Julian came on and he asked, like, how am I feeling? And I'm like, I'll go the full 80, you guys make the decision. And they're like, no, you're coming off. So I just made sure I had one last run, assist Krappie. So yeah, that was a good moment to come off after that. Yeah.
And having guys like JC back, I mean, obviously like the starting 8, you guys really put in a shift. But for the guys that came on after halftime, just what are your comments on it?
Yeah, firstly, obviously on JC, had a bit of bad luck with 2 knee injuries in the last year, so grateful that he could get through the game. But if you look at the whole bench coming on, they brought so much energy, so much go forward, and that allows the backs then to go and score those tries that we mentioned.
And lastly, just Cash, how do you keep him healthy? I mean, this guy is... Don't answer it. It's not a question.
I can answer, but it'll probably make headlines. No, Franca's he's got ability to beat players. He's got ability to keep the ball alive. He's working hard in his conditioning, working hard on his recovery. May that continue.
Can't say what then?
No.
Thank you, everybody. See you guys next week.
Thanks, everyone.
Space of this question. All right, colleagues, we've got Glasgow Warriors head coach Franca Smith.
Coach, just how much of because of the Lions were quite sharp, and then you guys took time to
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say we took time to warm up. We took time to adapt. Obviously, I always knew coming in. So my biggest, first of all, I want to just say this: well done to the Lions. They've used this time away from rugby so well, and they looked fresh and quick tonight, and well coached, well drilled. You could see the plan that they've brought, and fantastic. First of all, I want to start there. Well done to them, coaching team. It's going to be. The merit sits there. They put us in a lot of pressure. They ask questions. The rest of my conversation is not about making excuses at all. It is just evident, in the fact that we the travel and the height above sea level was tonight for me more evident. I think there's different energy when you come across for a final maybe, but tonight I felt the travel and the change in temperature and everything was just a little bit too much for us. We saw that with Edinburgh a couple of months. It's not easy if you come out of winter. I think it was 6 degrees there when we left, and then to come out here and the field's a little bit heavier than what we used to. There's a lot of things, but so therefore I must stay true to my north this afternoon.
Franco, do you think it was an advantage for the Lions to be not in the Challenge Cup or in any competitions and could just rest for 3 weeks and then wait for you guys to come?
See, that sounds going to sound like excuses. So, again, I want to say they used the time well. So I would rather compliment them and say, well done for using the time well. They could have just as well, come back and been average tonight, and that they used the time well. And it is obviously the Six Nations period where the South African teams plays a little bit less, and then now with with the European Cup in the middle of everything. Change in temperature, everything it's a hard, at least some difficult ingredients, and we're going to try and find the way to get it right. I thought we did it better this time, but it was evident.
I know it's hurting about you guys using, but do you think this Lions team, it seems to be resurging, have got something going?
Yeah, look, they've always had that. Maybe one or two of the results didn't go their way, to travel to Europe for the EPCR games in the middle of all this, and then it challenges you as a team, and as they are finding their way that side, they are doing so well at home. So no, I think they're a good team. I'm glad I think they probably secured their position in the top 8 now for this, and it's going to be not yet. So I haven't looked. No, that's evident. I don't look at the table. So I hope for them. They're a tough nut, and it's difficult to play against.
Franco, despite the loss, you guys are still top of the log.
Yeah, you see, every game counts, through the season, and in our build-up, and when we were before the Six Nations specifically, I thought we were playing some really good rugby and we wanted to hand the boys over to Scotland in really good condition. We were playing well in European Cup, getting some reward for the work there, but it becomes now, it's our 21 weeks, I think 21, 22 weeks of highly tense rugby. It's good to have a lot of internationals in your team, but they don't rest in the Six Nations. 23 of them go and play, and they come back and you demand mentally more from them. So it is through the 4 years that I've been in there, this part of the year, at home or away, is always difficult to manage until the playoffs.
Okay. I'd just like to know, obviously from a coaching perspective, there's a few of the Lions players that have been within the Springbok squad in the last year or two, someone like Alsanati, but there's also 1 or 2 players that maybe were in the squad haven't gotten the call up yet. As a coach with a lot of experience, you've coached here and abroad, who is 1 or 2 players from the Lions side that you are quite excited to see get that call up for the Springboks?
Yeah, look, I think Frankie Horn plays some really good rugby at the moment, and obviously Morna at the scrum, at the base of the scrum, is really good for South Africa, and he's so close. I think in general there's 1 or 2 players in the forward pack that maybe doesn't fit the size bill, but they play some really good and quality. They're very good athletes, and they get around the park, and the brand that they play here suits them so well. So yes, again, what makes the Lions a very good team to play against, they've got Springbok-like players, but they're not Springboks. So the same with I suppose the Bulls and the Sharks and the Stormers. The most valuable players are the guys that's good enough to be Springboks, but they're not Springboks, and they make the difference at the club level. So our second choice in comparison to what our second choice international in comparison to what the second choice international is, difference. There's a difference in that some players. So I think the strength for the Lions sits that they've got so many good players that's ready to play for South Africa, but they're not playing for South Africa. That makes it a good club side to have. Thanks. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Thank you. Oh yeah. So now I've got these questions.
Can we do the same just now, or do you want us to move?
We've got, maybe move, and then we'll just get the Lions coach here as well.